Hi, my name is Jan Kastner, and I help people buy and sell homes in the area here. And one of the things that come up often when people are either getting ready to sell a home or buying a home are home inspections. And I'm standing here today with John Staz, who owns EnvironQuest, one of the premier home inspection companies in the area. And what we're going to do, we're not going to do a whole home inspection today, but we're going to point out some things that people should be aware of if they're considering getting a home inspection. Now, John, you own EnvironQuest. You've been in business for decades, correct?
Correct. Yeah, we've been in business since 1991. Started the company and do radon mitigation, home inspections, and the peripheral inspections like mold testing, water testing, wood destroying insect inspections.
So you do it all. You do home, radon, water, termites. You have the whole package if need be.
Yeah, we're specifically tailored to the real estate industry and also for homeowners who may want to get a mold test, something of that nature.
Okay.
And also commercial.
Okay. Well, one of the reasons we're doing this is because I have a report here put out by the American Society of Home Inspectors, which John is a prominent member of. And these are industry experts on home inspections. This report is 11 things you need to know to pass your home inspection. In other words, these are the 11 things that typically cause a home inspection to be and have a problem. And this is a free report. We're going to offer it to you at the end. There's no charge for it. So if you're thinking about selling a home and you want to look at this prior to, or if you're getting ready to buy a home, this will be important information to have. So we're not going to do a whole home inspection, but we're going to point out some of the highlights here with John, and let's have at it.
Okay, let's do it.
So John, one of the things that's important obviously is grading, and that affects water inside the house and so forth. On this particular house, what would you be looking for? We're going to look around the outside here quickly.
Sure. So, as you mentioned, grading's important. We want to see it slope away from the home for the first 6 to 10 feet of the exterior grade. We're going to look at your AC condenser unit. We want to make sure it's within 1 inch of level. When those get crooked, that can affect the fan motor. Back here, we're looking at your electrical wiring is protected with conduit, so we're going to look at things like this, where the conduits come loose there. Water can get into this and have a detrimental effect on the wiring. We're looking at the conduit here, make sure this is continuous. Cable here, we're looking at this. This one has some alligatoring, it's starting to flake there. So we make note of something like that.
Great.
Just making general observations that we document, take a close-up picture of these things and put them into the report under.
Okay, how about we're at another area at home. You had mentioned something about drainage. What do you see here, John?
Yeah, so the pavers, we're going to look at how they're installed, uneven if it's a trip hazard. This has obviously had some settling. We're going to look at your patio. One of the telltale signs that we look for is we look at the back of the patio where it abuts the house. And if there's an inch gap where it's settled, that means that whole thing is tilted towards the house. And that's a surface that collects water, that channels all that water back towards your house. So then we make a mental note, when we look at the basement, we want to see if there's any damage or coinciding water entry, like based on the exterior grade, based on settlement of concrete patios or pavers, all that can channel water back towards the house.
Yeah, beautiful. I've seen homes where that happens with a patio. It's sloped back or a sidewalk sloped in, and that's where the wet wall is.
Yeah, so with an electrical panel, we look at the size of the main shutoff, the type of panel. We like to take the cover off and look inside. We look for miswiring, different types of panels that we flag, certain brands that are considered obsolete. We want to check the labeling, make sure it's properly labeled. We look for openings, which can be dangerous if there's an opening going right into the panel. We inspect it for damage. Sometimes you get arcing inside the panel, which can burn components, so we look for any burning or arcing. I take a a heat gun and I check the temperature of the breakers to make sure that none are getting
Oh,
too
wow.
hot. So you use all your senses in a home inspection. You know, we check the temperature of the breakers to see if any of them are overheated. None should be over about 100 degrees. Then we you know, we look for things like, use all your senses. Like I said, you know, sometimes you hear a sizzling type of noise. That's never a good sign.
Yeah. Unless you're cooking a steak.
Yeah, unless you're cooking a steak, then it's a good sign.
So other parts of the mechanicals that I look for when I'm selling or buying a home myself, and also for my clients, are the mechanicals, the heating system. This looks like it's a hot water system with maybe some auxiliary heat. Tell me what you'd be looking for in something like that, John.
Sure. So on this baby here, we'd be looking at, make sure there's a good door seal here. If there's a gasket there, we look at the condition. We look inside at the fire brick to make sure that's not deteriorated. We're looking for corrosion or rust. We're looking at the water lines for signs of leakage or corrosion around any of the valves that might need to be replaced. We want to fire this up so that we can hear these circulator pumps are working.
So that's why we need utilities on, because sometimes we'll do a vacant home, utilities aren't on. You can't really do a proper inspection.
Exactly, yeah. It's a lot more informative. We get a lot more information by seeing the units in operation. We look inside this refractory down here to check the condition of the refractory inside this oil. So in this home, they also have a well, I see, and even though you do water testing and so forth, but you'd be looking at this part of the mechanical system as well, correct? Sure, yeah. So we want to let our buyers know, hey, there's a mechanical filter here that they're going to need to change the filter. And if it hasn't been changed, they might need to change it right when they move in. So we want to verify that that's something that needs maintenance. We look at this blue holding tank, you know, look for signs of rust. Helpful here, it has the install date, so we know roughly when it was installed, and we can visually examine the condition of it. And once again, you know, we're looking for the condition of these pipes, any corrosion on the valves. You know, make sure this isn't at zero, that this gauge works for your water pressure. Now, John, houses have kitchens and bathrooms. What's one of the things you're looking for some sort of overt problem that you would want to report? Well, sure. So bathrooms, we're checking things such as the drain, hot and cold water, make sure that they're on the right side. Looking for drips. We check underneath, looking for proper drainage. We're looking for, once again, homeowner plumbing in the drain configurations and supply configurations. Any leak stains? Yeah, looking for leaks or stains. The toilets, a big thing we check for is the toilet being properly secured. You know, is it loose? So some home inspectors use their legs like this to do it, or you can I like to see if it rocks, you know, back and forth, side to side. We flush the toilet, make sure that it flushes properly.
This home has a shower stall, yeah.
If there's a fan, we check that. Shower stall, we run the water. Look for leaks once again. Make sure the drain drains.
You looking for any cracks or anything like that in there?
Yeah, especially with fiberglass, we're looking for defects in the fiberglass or small cracks that could get into a bigger leak.
Correct.
Or a leak that leaks only when somebody stands in it that we don't do. So.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, John. Well, thanks for the quick look. I know we didn't have time to do a 3-hour, 4-hour home inspection.
Thanks for
to
having
do that. This is John Staz again with EnviroQuest, one of the area's premier and I think the best home inspection company around. And you again do home inspections.
Yeah, home inspections, radon mitigation, radon testing, mold testing, pretty much tailored to the real estate industry. And then also we do a lot of commercial radon mitigation.
So have you found a lot of home sellers before they put their home on the market, want a home inspection so they know what they got to address the major problems?
Yeah, the pre-listing inspections are becoming more popular. That way you get a pre-listing inspection, then you can take the report to your agent and ask for your agent for advice. You know, what should I fix? What should I leave? And your agent can give you good feedback.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, again, I'm Jan Kastner with RSR Realtors, and John Staz, who's a member of the American Society of Home Inspectors. Here's a report, a free report that we offer. and it's from the American Society of Home Inspectors. It's 11 things you should know before you get your home inspection, before you put your home on the market. And it's a free report. There's a contact number that'll be showing up here so you can order it. And if you want to talk to John directly himself, his number will show up on the screen as well as mine. And I thank you again, John, for your time today.
Thanks for
And
having me.
you know what? It's hot out there. I'm glad I didn't do a 3-hour home inspection. I had to take my coat off.
I'll take you up in the attic with me.
Okay. We'll see you.